And welcome to the Rugby Championship Round 3 predictions from DrivingMaul. Hi, I'm Paul, the guy behind DrivingMaul, and as you can see, I'm on location in a mall today. So, a bit shaky because I'm holding it by the hand, so sorry about that. But what do we have first up? So we have New Zealand hosting Argentina and Australia versus South Africa. Now, let's be honest, the first one of those, it's a matter of how many, isn't it? The All Blacks have never lost to Argentina. Argentina have kicked off this series with 2 losses. They had 2 losses over England in June, and that's obviously with England missing those players with the Lions. So, whilst I don't think the All Blacks are quite where they want to be, normally you've got to say that the Pumas are not where they want to be either. They've got this going back to one team and not picking players from Europe. Hasn't worked for the national side. Yes, it's worked for Super Rugby. In fact, they've managed to bring players back, and I understand why they have to do it, but they do need a second team. So, because New Zealand's not really up to where I think they're going to be, normally I'm going to back New Zealand by 15 in that one. Do join the #Rugby Chat at 8 PM tonight to listen to us chat about this and what we expect out of the All Blacks. That'll be one of our questions that we'll talk about on YouTube later. The second game is much more intriguing. We have Australia versus South Africa, or the Wallabies versus Springboks, however you like to say it. Now the Springboks are much improved. They beat a poor French side, to be honest, in June 3-0, because let's be honest, the French team were missing players with the top 14 final, and they've got 2 wins over the Pumas. But we just said the Pumas aren't great at the moment, but still, that's a run of 5 wins on the trot after not winning a game at all in the November window, and that's got to be positive for South Africa. So they're definitely clearly on the up. The question is how far, because the teams they've faced so far have not been that great. Australia, on the other hand, have had to face the All Blacks, and they've lost both those games after a bit of a shaky June where they lost to Scotland as well. That second performance against the All Blacks gives a lot of Wallabies supporters hope, and we'll have to see where that goes from. Personally, I think this is going to come down to home advantage, but it's going to be a tight one. So I'm backing the Wallabies by 3. And that will keep the Rugby Championship alive to see who'll come second behind the All Blacks, because let's be honest, that's what it's going to be. So there you go. Those are my predictions. The All Blacks by 15 over the Pumas, and the Wallabies by 3 over South Africa. Let me know your thoughts. I'm always up for a good old rugby chat. So let me know what you think about these games. And also don't forget, there is a whole host of rugby on. We've got the Rugby Championship, the Mitre 10 Cup, the Currie Cup, the NRC, the Bureau Premiership, the Top 14, the Pro 14. So sign up for my newsletter so you don't miss out on anything. Link above on Twitter, down below on YouTube, and then you'll get an email into your inbox once a week on a Thursday with all of my videos, and also links to the my podcast and live shows and all of that kind of good stuff. So please do sign up. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll be back later at 8 PM tonight with the #Rugby Chat show on YouTube, so look out for that. Obviously, that will also be the recording we'll put on to. What's it put onto? It's put onto the podcast. So search for #Rugby Chat podcast on all your favourite hot podcast players, and you will get that downloaded straight to your phone. Thank you for joining me. You can catch you all later.